morning, truckers, drivers, and adventurers. I am the Killer Trucker in training, and it is day number 5, which is Friday of the first week. And this is the day after me getting my commercial learner's permit, the only one that got my permit out of the group that I went to. Now, there are some that already had their permit, so I think they are moving forward to the range next week with me. Also, the people that didn't pass yesterday will be retesting today. So there's a chance that a few more might actually join me. Hopefully all of them. That would be neat. But yeah, apparently today I'm going to be, not we, me, I'm going to be going through orientation about being an employee with Swift. I think this is pretty exciting. I think the fact that they're putting this effort in now early, I think that means that they're invested in me, and that they're going to do what they can to actually bring me on board and help me get that commercial license so I can start driving for them. So pretty cool stuff. I'm having a bit of a challenge with doing editing here on this little tablet. So I've been working on one of the episodes. You can see that I need to get a hub. This is the only place that I've got USB is on this actual keyboard right here. So I have to constantly plug, unplug, and stuff. But with this being a tablet, not a laptop, but a tablet, my space is very, very limited. It's like 60 gigs. I've already uninstalled some stuff, and like my Minecraft folder, I've copied the Java version. I went ahead and copied that over to my stick to make up space. I have the Windows 10 version on here, but that's not taking up hardly any space. So that wouldn't help. But yeah, I was actually working on one of the episodes. This happens to be day number 3. Day 3 as far as the one that I was editing. And there's not enough space for me to render it. And I was trying to actually render it to here. But buffer-wise, there wasn't enough room to actually render it out. So this has become an interesting little challenge for me with the limitation that I've got here, since I don't have my main computer with me and Adobe Premiere to work with. So I have to improvise a little bit. So this is a good test for me on what I can do to improvise. So what I'm going to need to do for the day 3 episode is render it in parts, because I think the total length is around 30 minutes. So I'm going to have to render that in parts, maybe like 3 10-minute parts. And then I only have those 3 files. I can go ahead and back up all the raw footage that was being used to start off with. I can back all that up and then remove them from here. And now I only have 3 files. 3? As opposed to, I don't know, like 20, 30 or something that I had. And then I can put those 3 together and then render the full episode out. So, interesting little workaround that I've got in order to do that. But this is a good test for me, since I won't be able to get a gaming laptop here for the next few months, because I'm going to be on someone else's truck for a couple of months, and I'm not going to have room to take to take that gaming laptop to be able to do rendering and stuff. So I can only use what I have, and that's what I'm going to have. So it's an interesting little test for me. Okay, I am back from a busy Friday, and thank goodness we actually have 3 days off because of the holiday on Monday. which I believe is Memorial Day. I always seem to get the Labor Day, Memorial Day, Veterans Day, all that mixed up. I think it's Memorial Day. I thought Memorial Day was in May. I don't know. It's one of those holidays. So, but the point is that they're not going to have any school on Monday. So we get 3 days off. That means we can have some fun this weekend. Maybe check out a few places or something. But let's go ahead and talk about our day that happened. Well, the first thing that I want to get to is in regards to what happens if you are struggling and you're not able to get your permit. What happens? Are you going to be hung to dry? Is Swift going to hang you to dry and just slap you with a $8,000 bill and see ya? You know, what's going to happen? Well, I actually got that information, and it was from the program director, and I didn't have to ask the questions. She had actually come into the class, and someone had asked her, and I was listening. So, out of my group of 6 yesterday, 4 of them, remember, I was one that passed, the other 5 didn't. Out of those 5, 4 of them passed today on their second try. The other one, unfortunately, did not. And she's been studying for over a year. I feel bad, but I tried to encourage her because I asked her. She still failed all 3 tests: the general knowledge, the air brake, and the combination. But I asked her. I said, "What about your scores? Have your scores improved since the first one?" And she said, "Yes, they did." I said, "There you go. You are getting better. Just keep up with it. Just keep studying." With the fee that you have to pay, the Department of Transportation, they allow 3 tries, and then you would have to go back and pay again. Now, the program director, and I think her name is Tony, she came in and she said that the student was going to have to go home, but that sounds bad. You know, unfortunately, we're going to have to ask you to go home. That sounds bad right there. But here's the thing. It's not the end of the world. Not the end of the world. She explained that the student would need to go get their permit on their own. So this would give them the time to study, and once they get their permit, then they just talk with the recruiter that they had talked to start with, and they will get them reintegrated back into the school and back into the classroom to finish everything up. Swift has training classes every week. Every week they start a new training class. And I think that might be what makes Swift more unique than some of the other carriers that are out there. Could be wrong. Well, Knight Transportation is probably in that same category because Swift and Knight are one and the same. But with the other companies out there, where I have read stories about, yeah, this company sent me home, now I'm stuck with this bill. I was sent home on my own cost, or yada yada yada, whatever the case may be. Never really heard anything more about were they going to work with the person and try to help them get employed or get their license, or were they just going to have to pay for the school all over again? I couldn't find any information like that about any of these other companies. Like how many chances did they give you? Things like that. But Swift, I mean, I got to tell you, the people at Swift, they're invested in you. They're vested in you. I mean, you sign a contract, and they want to do whatever they can um, to help you succeed. There's only so much that they can do. So, like in this case, they can't just recycle someone and put them in the next class like the next following week. It's more like, okay, here's what you need to do. You need to get your permit. You've already taken some of these other classes, or you've already had this much classroom time. Uh, Go study, go get your permit, and then we'll work you back in. And they would like pretty much finish out the days that they didn't uh, on the first week. Like for example, uh, we had we had like a few people that joined in our class last or yesterday, who used to be in the class before, and probably couldn't get their permit or something. But yeah, they joined us in this class. So I've got 4 people from my original class, plus others who already had their permit. So we're all moving on to the road, the range and the road and the driving and pre-trip inspection next week. But just wanted to kind of set your minds at ease that if you're wanting to get into trucking and you're concerned about the money that you might be stuck having to pay, I got to tell you, I'm really glad I made this decision and went with Swift. I, I'll be honest with you, and no, they're not paying me. They're not paying me to say this. It's just it's better than what I thought. There's just a lot of negative information that you see in regards to Swift. Oh, those Swift drivers, they don't know how to drive, blah blah blah. Um, and we'll get to that. Something really interesting I got to tell you about that. Uh, but yeah, they want to help you succeed. They're not just going to throw you out the door and say, well, give us a try another, next year or something. It's not like that. And see, other carriers, I think CR England, they only have like a class maybe once every 2 weeks or once a month or something. So you can kind of see how it's hard to work a student who was struggling back in with another class if they've got new people coming in. Swift can do it because they're big, they're a huge company, and they have classes every single week. So if someone is struggling and falls behind, they're able to work them back in to the school. So I'm saying, if you're starting, if you're wanting to start in the trucking business, you don't really have the money out of pocket to go to an actual school, and you're not really sure if you should go with Prime or Rail or CR England, CRST, ABC, XYZ, you know. I got to tell you, I'm really happy. I'm happy with what I see, and there's some other stuff that I'll tell you about, but yeah, I feel better after hearing this information and coming directly from the program director. So it came from the horse's mouth. It came from, an official source. So that's good. That really set my mind at ease, and I hope for you out there, I hope that sets your mind at ease. If you were just, this is kind of a scary thing. I mean, who wants to be stuck with an $8,000 bill, and have nothing to show for it? I totally get that. Totally understand that. But I hope this sets your mind at ease. And if this is something that you want to get into, and you're willing to, put out the effort and do the best that you can, you know what? I don't think you can go wrong with Swift.
I'll be honest with you. Maybe I'll say something different 6 months from now. I don't know. For those of you who are watching this video 6 months from now or a year from now and are probably laughing, oh, he thought it was going to be so good, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. Just initially, from what I am seeing, I'm like what I'm seeing. It's better than what I thought. So, because remember, this was not my first choice. And I'm glad I didn't get my first choice, to be honest with you. I think things are going to work out really well with Swift, and I don't really have any plans to go to another company for a bit. I want to get the chance to get some experience on the road and to be able to move to different types of fleets within the company and get, you know, more variety of experience before I even think about going somewhere else. The only reason why I would go somewhere else is to get experience with certain types of cargo that Swift doesn't do. So that's my thing. And then, you know, eventually, you know, being an owner operator, you know, that's always kind of a nice thing, but I don't see that being anytime soon. Right now, I'm just worried about experience and learning. You know, the big bucks, the money, the owner operator, that stuff will come later. Right now, I'm just concerned about the experience. Okay, let's go ahead and talk about something else here. And just real briefly, some of you may be asking, you know, I passed and I got my permit yesterday. Why did I have to stay at the class the rest of the time? Why couldn't I, you know, move on or, you know, take half a day off? You know, and the same thing with Friday. Well, here's the reason why. You're required to have so many hours of classroom time. Yeah, there were times I was sitting there going, but uh, yeah, but I mean, I understand what it is, and there were still quite other things that were going on. So we wound up getting our paperwork today, the orientation paperwork. Remember, I told you this was the day for our orientation, and it was just like getting hired by a company. It really was. We were given our insurance information, like how much it'll cost, and 401k, as you know, all that information that you would get, like on the first day that you get hired with a company. We got that today. The only thing is that we're not actually hired yet. It's not official yet. Once we get our license, boom, we're employees, just like that. So they're putting this effort out because they're confident that we'll pass, or they will work with us to make sure that we pass. So if you've made it to this point and you've gotten to the orientation part, I think you're going to be okay. Unless when you're out on the road or the range and you crash the truck, you might have a problem. I don't know. Based on the rules that we took a look at yesterday, yeah, you might have some problems. But just take your time. This is not a race. It's not a rush. Take your time and listen to what the instructors are saying, and do things the best the best that you can, but as correctly and as perfectly as you can do it. If that makes any sense. Something else that I had to do again today was another urine test. Yes, 2 days in a row. Can we make it 3? I don't know. I don't know what they're looking for. I don't drink. I don't smoke. Don't drink. Don't smoke. What do you do? Some of you from the 80s will know that song. And if you do, awesome. man, whatever happened to that guy? Yeah, so I'm just like, okay, whatever. You know, they're not going to find anything. They're never going to find anything because I don't drink, I don't smoke, and I don't do drugs, and I never will. And, you know, they could test me into my deathbed and they will never find anything. So, but, you know, I'll let them do what they want to do, and we'll just kind of go from there. Okay, so here's a really interesting thing that happened in class, and I wasn't really expecting it. Our instructor had pulled up YouTube. No, he didn't bring up the channel, thank goodness. But I wouldn't know what to do because he was pulling some stuff up about Swift. I wouldn't know what to do if he actually pulled up my channel and my videos. I would have been like, oh. It's not me. I have no idea who that guy is. But he pulled up videos. I think it's from the American Trucker or something. It's called Swift in Action. And it's a compilation of Swift drivers that are, you know, crashing into things or in situations where you're like, WTF, you know? It's like, how did you do that? How was that even possible? Well, I thought this was really interesting. I talked to my instructor because afterwards he sent people on break, and I stopped and I chatted with them. I said, so what happens with those Swift drivers? How is this even possible with the training that Swift has and the mentor program that they have after that? And he said, I never thought about this. He said that there are drivers that come to the company saying they've got XYZ amount of experience. They do a road test, they pass, you know, and later on they get into one of these wrecks. You know, so they come from different schools and stuff. And the light bulb went off. I'm like, oh. Now that doesn't mean that all of those Swift accidents are from drivers who got their schooling someplace else. You know, I'm sure some of them actually did come from the Swift Academy. But I never really thought for a moment that some of these drivers for Swift that have gotten into these accidents didn't start off with Swift. Maybe they started off with another company, and maybe that other company wasn't too pleased with them for whatever reason, and they came to Swift. I don't know. It just opened my eyes up a little bit. He still really didn't answer my question in regards to what happens to the Swift drivers. Maybe he's not allowed to say. I don't know. Maybe I'll find out later. Not. When I say maybe we'll find out later, I don't mean that for me. No, I'm not going to try to test it and say, hey, have you ever wondered what happens if you do this? No, I'm just hoping maybe I'll find out just through conversation with someone else. So then again, if they were to watch my truck simulator videos, I don't know. Watch my old truck simulator videos, you'd be like, oh, well, there's a Swift driver, a future Swift driver right there. Oh, man. Okay, so last thing is in regards to the weekend. As I mentioned, it's a 3-day weekend. Not only do I need to do some studying, because we'll be starting with the pre-trip inspections on Tuesday, but I also need to get myself prepared, and I don't mean the simulator, because I already have it. Some of you will get it. I need to prepare myself for the environment, the sun, the heat, because once we go out there on the range and the road, we can't have anything. We can't have anything with us. We can't have a bag. We can't have a notebook. Nothing. I think they have water out there for us, but other than that, I think we have to put our phones somewhere, or you keep it in your pocket and you don't take it out. I don't know. I guess we'll find out on Tuesday when I go. But I'm gonna need to get a hat because we're gonna be out there like for 11, 10, 11 hours out in the sun, with few exceptions like getting into the truck and stuff. But yeah, it's gonna be hot. Our instructor was saying that it's going to be over 100 degrees. I forget what he said, 102, 105 or something like that. So yeah, I tend to burn easily on my forehead and over my neck. Maybe some of it is showing right now because we did spend some time outside yesterday and today kind of going over some pre-trip stuff. So it's kind of showing the engine and kind of like what they're looking at as far as testing and what their expectations are, and so we'll be getting a lot more of that on Tuesday. So yeah, we were out in the sun. We just weren't out there for 10 hours, more like an hour or an hour and a half. So yeah, a hat, some sunscreen. Okay, not a little, but some sunscreen. Just to protect myself so I don't, turn into, a fried potato or something. Oh, I don't know when that happened. My scab had fallen off my. Some of you may not have known, but some of you have been with me for a while. I have a video in regards to when I had got attacked by a dog. It was basically chasing me and my dog. So it's under my series Shep Rambles. So go look for that, and you'll see the story about that. But yeah, this was the worst part. You can see it's actually, hopefully, I don't know if it's focusing or not, but it looks like it's healing quite well. The scab was there earlier. I guess it's fallen off, but yeah, it looks like it's doing okay. And of course, as far as the weekend goes, well, I've got some family here, so I'm going to spend a little bit of time with them. Of course, I'm going to be doing my studying. There's a project that I want to try to do for this series as well, but I also want to kind of see what kind of fun that we can have while we're here, and just kind of take you along for the ride. Because why not? So, well, let's see what we got coming up here. Anyways, thanks so much for watching. I appreciate it. This has been an interesting and exciting journey so far. I'm really excited. I'm really stoked about this, and I hope you are too. And if you're new, be sure to subscribe. Click that like button, leave some comments and stuff about your experiences. Really love to hear them. And as I mentioned, there is a ton of stuff on this channel. It's not just truck stuff. It's not just gaming stuff, although there's a lot of it. The channel's been around for 8 years. There's a lot of stuff. I just happen to be a YouTuber who has gotten into trucking, so I did not just start my YouTube channel. It's been around. So take a look at the other stuff that I've got on here. Join our Discord, be a part of the KILR community, because we have an awesome community here, and we'd love to have you a part of it. Thanks again, and I will see you on the next episode. Have a killer awesome trucking day.